Let's not forget, this is truly only your money, the public's money. We're talking, of course, about the beleaguered BBC, and once again, how much money they've had to pay out due to their own incompetence regarding this once revered royal interviewer. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Hope you're enjoying the daffodils behind me. Don't they look wonderful? One of my favourite flowers ever. It's only quite sad that they're here for a short time, isn't it, you know? I think daffodils can cheer up any place, so if you're lucky enough to have some, do put them on display, and even if you can't afford any, my motto is get a picture of them, laminate it, you know, pin it up. They just cheer you up. Is it me just being daft again? I hope not. Anyway, back as ever to your breaking roll story of the day. On a more serious note, this particular story has created, as we often say here on this show, ructions, waves for all the wrong reasons. It really goes way back to 1995 and that now infamous interview with the late Princess Diana and Martin Bashir. As we've told you here on the show, basically, you know, everybody knew within television circles exactly how Mr. Bashir operated. As ever, we have to say allegedly. I worked with him a couple of times, bit of a shady character in my opinion, very rude, very arrogant, but of course he believed he'd got the interview of the century, and he had, you know, if he'd have done it the right way. But as we now know, he did it the skullduggery way, one of course which upset the late Diana, and more importantly has continued to upset her sons and of course her brother Earl Spencer, who's doing a great job fighting forward. But now we can tell you the BBC have had once again to secretly, and they hope to bury this news, to pay out once again a substantial amount to the former private secretary of the late Princess, Patrick Jefferson. Now this is really all to do with his, well, you know, shall we say, attachment to that interview, because I won't go into too much detail, you can all find it online. The bottom line is this, that because of the way Martin Bashir lied about the bank statements and stuff like that, it was insinuated that he knew something about it. He certainly didn't, he had no idea. In fact, Mr. Jefferson basically wanted the late princess not to get involved with it. Very shrewd man, very competent man, and I believe he knew exactly, if he couldn't pinpoint it down, he knew there was something shady about the whole setup, as we later found out did the very young Prince William. But Diana was hell-bent on doing this, and of course, as we now know, went ahead with it. It's interesting, isn't it, to note that the BBC are quite freely dishing out money, you know, to the ex-nanny, to Prince Charles's charity, yet they haven't as yet done this. A lot of people want to know is, now Mr. Bashir has been relieved of his duties once again at the BBC, did he get a payoff? Does he have a pension? And more importantly, should he really be allowed those sort of things? When you think about it, not only is he disgraced, he simply can't work again because of the reputation that is now left sullied. For a long time he was revered, particularly in the United States, where he managed to get plum jobs on television over there simply by his association through the late princess. Of course, there were signals, weren't there, many years later, when he sat down with the beleaguered pop star Michael Jackson. But Michael Jackson was far cleverer than the late princess. He turned the tables on Bashir and had him filmed also. So we were able to see the manipulation and skill of which he tried to twist his narrative of the late pop megastar himself. But of course, what the bigger problem over here is, and the public wish to know, will Mr. Bashir be paying back some of those thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds that is accrued by working for the BBC, even though people above him, around him, and even at the side knew just truly what was going on. It was only really a matter of time as to as and when this would explode into the public domain. For now though, as ever, he's gone to ground, but this story simply will not go away. It's nice to know at least that some of the main players that were wrongly vilified in the media have now at least been given their opportunity to get their side of the story over, and more importantly, being given the credit and the compensation that they truly deserve. But as ever also, it comes from the public purse. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.